Pull up a chair. This is Fluxtaposed, episode 217, recorded on June 26, 2018. On the docket today, IRL, our top threes return. Get caught up on what you're playing, featuring, oh gosh, I didn't even write the notes. This is a podcast profile, don't pay attention, featuring Hollow Knight, Fire Rabbit, Skin and Metal, all the fun things. Pretend that didn't happen, listeners. Finally, we'll close on the show with giving a grab bag and that sweet, sweet, awkward finish. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And enjoy the show. Woo! You see how I saved it there? I brought it back from near death, and I saved the intro.
You did.
Everyone. Welcome to Fluxtaposed, episode 217. I am Jason Lacey. I am joined by Lucas Rose. Hi, Lucas.
Hey, we're not. There we go. God.
Oh.
It's always something, man. I couldn't switch the windows. I couldn't switch the windows of us out, and it was frustrating me, and it caused me to have a momentary heart attack. But we're okay now.
I was like, he's feverishly working on something.
When you see me looking left and right, like really quickly like that, something bad is happening.
And then your face, all of a sudden your face just goes, your eyebrows for a little bit. Thank you for cueing me, because for whatever reason, like that X-Men theme, it wasn't broadcasting constantly for me. So I was like, I think I come in now. I don't know. Hey, that's all right. We're leaving all the bad juju from last week behind us. We're moving forward.
Yes.
Into a new week. Welcome to Fluxtaposed. Hi, Josh. Josh is in chat. He says, we're reversing it. Josh, everyone's gotten too comfortable with me being on the left side of the screen. And now I'm on the right side. People say I'm a little quiet.
Yep.
I'll turn myself up a little bit. Or are you turning me up?
I'm turning you on and up.
Turning me up. Ooh. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. So, we're back. We're back. This is still we're still Patreon powered. Check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed. We're still doing the June promotion. I am going to do the June promotion as many months as it takes to give that shirt away to somebody. So the June promotion might be going on in December, for all we know. So it's still going. So you can do the thing and you can get some swag for free. Well, sort of for free, but at highly, depending on how generous you are, at a very high discount. How about that? But I mean, technically, you don't get charged for the next month, so really, you could be really dastardly, and you could do it and then get the swag and then cancel.
That's true.
You wouldn't do that. You guys wouldn't do that because you're all good people.
We depend on your money, your sweet money, to keep the show going.
Is that a beer you have there, sir?
It is. That's what I was going to say, is now that everything seems to be in order, I can enjoy this nice, crisp, refreshing beer. It is a Land O'Lakes by Bell, I believe.
Oh, you're drinking butter. That's nice.
Bohemian Pilsner. Yeah, it is butter. You're absolutely right.
I took a long, hard look in my fridge because I almost grabbed that nice silver can called BFD.
Yeah.
And it's so close. Dude, I don't know why I love that beer. Sierra Nevada's beer for drinking. It's so good. It's just crushable. It's nice. It comes in that huge can.
It looks like a bootlegged can that you would buy from somebody who brews out of their
it's like
garbage cans.
The grocery store experience a little bit before our time, where you had just the white generic boxes with black labels. Milk, beer, it's the generic.
Yeah. Now we're trying to get back to that aesthetic, funny enough.
Right? Yeah.
Especially when it comes to men's products, it seems like.
Yes. I don't think I have the calories, though, today just to burn, so I didn't do it. Men's products. I bought myself a shaving brush today.
Oh, finally. Is that one of those nice, like, you whip up some cream and...
Yeah. Yeah, I want to be that guy now.
Nice.
Do my thing.
Pamper yourself, dude.
That's right. Because I'm almost out of the one I've been using that beard butter, not beard butter, but the shaving butter
a lot of
stuff.
butter
I've been using that for a bit, so now I'm gonna do the wet shave stuff. So, final reminder before we get into the meat of the show: Netflixation next week. We changed up the schedule. Netflixation will now be the first episode of every month. So Netflixation is happening on the next episode. Again, we are going to be talking Cargo. It stars Gordon Freeman's brother,
Martin. Freeman.
Yeah,
the free man, as they say in Half-Life.
Yeah, so we'll be watching that. We'll talk about it, discuss it, break it down. It's the only we do, and then we'll be out the door. So there you go. Now that the meat and potatoes has been laid out for you, let's have some bangers and mash. Lucas, let's talk some IRL.
Yeah,
what's going on, man?
Not a lot, or maybe a lot. Let's find out. Let's get into it, as we say. So a couple of exciting just little asides that I wanted to share with you guys, since usually this is either Dogcast or Kids Cast or Parents Cast or whatever. So my son is of the age now where he is starting to get interested in specific properties of like Disney stuff, that type of thing. And so he never really, other than Curious George, which I don't know why he landed on that necessarily, but that just was kind of like one of the first things. But Curious George, I don't really feel like is as big as his new passion, which is cars. This all came about when we realized he could say Lightning McQueen, or at least McQueen. He calls him McQueen.
How'd that happen? Where did you learn that from?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we did watch it one time a long time ago, just because I thought he might be interested in it, because he is interested in automobiles, fire trucks, cars, that type of thing. And then all of a sudden he asked to watch it again, Cars 3, which is on Netflix. And now he's to the point where we're actually like, we'll see Cars stuff, like little die-cast cars or something like that. And every once in a while we'll pick him up one if he's being good during a grocery trip or something. And I started thinking about it. I tell you all this because I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I'd probably pick up a Lightning McQueen in his fabulous Lightning McQueen livery, as you would say, I suppose, in his blue. Have you seen Cars 3? I'm guessing probably not.
I don't think I've seen Cars 2.
Okay.
I've seen the original. That's about it.
Cars 2 is terrible. So he do you remember his mentor, the fabulous Hudson Hornet, the old guy from the town that kind of gave him crap at first? Okay, well, he basically paints himself the same color and calls him Fabulous Lightning McQueen in tribute to him. And I was like, I would probably pick up one of those if I saw one, because I'm kind of liking Cars now too. I've only seen it about 100 times now.
I'll Google this.
Go ahead, Google it. And that's when I kind of realized, I'm like, maybe that's what it was. So we were at the store and they have this like probably 1/20th scale or something like that model of him in that paint job. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's the right blue. That seems like the wrong blue to me. And Danette just looks at me like, are we really having this conversation in the middle of a Target toy aisle? And I was like, yeah, we should probably just get him his card and we should leave, because I might buy something that I will regret later. I don't even have shelves to put anything on. I have blank walls with holes in them. But he's also to the point now, which I'm kind of really excited for. We went outside a couple days ago and we played catch, Jason, like the good old days, like a father and son do.
Oh my gosh, you're like the stereotypical American story.
Yeah, we got our dog. We have a crappy fence where the fence thingies just fall off. The little planks just fall off whenever you breathe on them heavily. It's a great time. But I was really proud of him because he can actually like catch the ball and stuff too. So it was just kind of he would throw it back. I can throw it back to the point where I can actually catch it instead of like go chase the ball for 5 hours. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm kind of like, oh man, these days are going to be gone before I know it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah.
So trying to enjoy them as I can. Took plenty of pictures and such too. So
that's like the other thing where I like remind myself of, it's like if like Aiden's been really clingy, or like he's doing something that's like fun for him, but I've done it like it feels like 100 times over and over. But then I'm like, you know what? There's gonna be a day when this doesn't happen anymore, and I'm gonna long for it. So you
Yep.
gotta just like soak it all in, you know.
Oh, trust me, there are times when
I'm like the ShamWow guy when it comes to sentimental time with my son. Just soak it all in with the ShamWow. Just soak it all in.
there's always room for more soaking with a
Just
ShamWow
just don't punch any prostitutes or bite their tongue. I can't remember what happened.
while doing like cocaine or heroin or
Yeah.
something crazy or meth. It's usually meth is.
Now that's a true Hollywood story that needs to be heard. VH1.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Where's the script? I'll write it. Yeah, he does. Isaac will do some things like I'll be sitting on the couch and he has a tendency to like lean on me, and then he keeps leaning on me, and then he's like pushing into me a little bit, and he's just like watching TV, and I'm just like, dude, like, give me some space, you know?
Yeah.
But like you said, it's one of those things where next thing you know, he'll be asking to take the car out so he can take his girlfriend somewhere, and you know, I've only seen him for 5 minutes that day, so can't wait.
Dad, I'm afraid I knocked Tina up. We're going to get the morning after pill.
Well, he will be nothing like me then, if that's the case, when I was his age or that age. So other thing, a little update. I talked about doing wood floors, Star Wars and wood floors on that episode. It's coming this weekend is the time.
The blood soaked into the boards. You had to change them. Right?
25 times we fought that beast.
This is a big project, I think.
It is. I do feel more confident this time around than I did before. Partially because I've done so much research, and while it is possible to damage your floors, two things are keeping me going. One, I've done all this research. I've watched a lot of videos of people talking about using it.
I've been on YouTube. I've been subscribed to quite a few channels.
That's all I get as recommended videos now are like home improvement, wood floors.
I know. Because sometimes I do the same thing. You'll forget to switch from the Fluxtaposed channel. I'll be like,
yes.
Why do I have all these car mechanic recommended videos on here?
I don't have to worry about you seeing like those fail videos where girls are just baring their breasts or whatever on YouTube. It's all like how to fix your air filter and stuff like that.
All my history is like that kid with the world's longest yeah boy kid, but then the Shooting Stars version.
Yeah, that was like
boy.
That was like a month long, like everything had to be put to Shooting Stars, and then it kind of just died out.
It'll come back.
Everything does.
Leia Shooting Stars is still a classic.
Oh gosh, it was the best. Honestly, it's the pinnacle. You can't really get better than.
I feel like a Nick Cage Shooting Stars would probably be up there.
I feel like that's been. I want to say it's been done. How could it not be done by now?
It's got to be. I think it has to be. I think that's where that GIF is taken from, where his head goes floating off into space, and then it just gets all psychedelic.
Okay, here's one for you: Shooting Stars, but every instrument is replaced with Owen Wilson going, "Wow." Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't even try. You want to. I know. I do too.
I want to know if that exists now. Shooting Stars.
Not in this timeline. Well, you
feel free to continue.
I was gonna say, why don't we all wait with bated breath to find out? So with these floors, the big thing I think was just settling on like, we're doing this. We're going to pick out a stain, because that was a big thing. Was I kind of wanted a darker floor. She kind of wanted more of like a medium light brown. And it was just like, let's just go pick some stain out, get the polyurethane, just get it all in the house.
Get the poly. Get the poly, Mom.
Mom, the poly. And just like, then that part is done. And then we can talk about how we're actually going to do this. And I've gone back and forth on this. And finally I said, you know what? Everything I've read says rent a drum sander, because people are afraid of using them, because if you do use them incorrectly, they will damage the floor. It's not impossible to fix once it's happened.
How would you do it without a drum sander?
Well, you can use, they have other things like a square buff sander and a orbital sander, which has 3 rotating heads, which also rotate independently. But the problem is they have such a wide surface area that it doesn't tend to be aggressive enough to sand off the finish. And if you don't sand well, your entire project is going to go to hell. I've watched a few videos where people were like, I skimped on the sanding and only did like 2, like, you know, a 50 grit and an 80 grit. And now my floor looks like shit, to make it, you know, make a nice rhyme there. And so I realized, like, I shouldn't be afraid of this because otherwise, one, we're either going to be sanding forever, or two, we're going to think we did a good job, find out that we didn't get out most of the imperfections, and then regret spending, all that money just to kind of have a nicer looking floor that still has a lot of flaws and stuff.
Do I want to know ballpark figure?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Well, it's a little tough because we bought some other stuff while we were there, but I'm estimating probably about $500 to $600 all said and done. If you went to a flooring specialist, they typically charge about $4 to $5 per square foot, and we're doing a 600 square foot area. So in the long run, we're saving money. Yeah, no, trust me, I don't want to be spending it either, but the floor is getting damaged. You saw it when I pointed it out. If it goes much further, it's going to get stained for good. So I decided not to be afraid of the drum sander, and we're just going to go for it and see what happens. And that leads me to my second thing, which is it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
I want it to be perfect because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to me doing stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm sure there's going to be flaws. I'm not a professional. So I just have to let go of the idea that I'm going to do it flawlessly and that there will be, probably some things I can't, sand out, some scratches I can't sand out or something like that. But as long as the stain goes on right, I don't mess up the floor too bad by sanding it. And the poly goes on correctly, I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of vacuuming of all the dust too, because that can ruin everything too. And then lastly, real quick, I had a medical scare. Big surprise, right? Especially with my given history on this show.
It's true.
I hadn't talked to you too much about this because I didn't know if it was something to be worried about. But last Sunday, the side of my neck was hurting, and I kind of touched it, and I was like, because they always say check your lymph nodes. They can get swollen when you get sick. Some people get them when they just have colds or flus or whatever. And so I was like, man, this actually kind of hurts to touch, which I've never had a sore throat where if you touch the outside of your throat, it hurts. You know what I mean? So I was like, what's going on? So that was Sunday night. And then I just was kind of like, all right, I'll just try to forget about it. And then we'll kind of see what happens from there. And it wasn't going away. And then finally, Friday, I ended up calling and saying, hey, like I feel like I have a swollen lymph node on the side of my neck, and I've never had one before. And it still hurts when I touch it and everything, and it hurts to swallow. Should I come in? And they were like, well, if you've never had one before and you don't know what's going on and you don't have any other symptoms was the big thing, why don't you come in? So they were able to get me in that day, which was amazing because that place is usually busy. And it wasn't with my doctor, which I would have preferred, but it was with another doctor who works there, and he was a very nice gentleman. And he took one look down my throat, and he was like, oh, no, you've got sinusitis. And I'm like, well, I've heard of other people get, like, sinus infections, but I typically, as far as I know, have never had one. And he was like, I can see the drainage coming down the back of your throat, and it's green mucus, and so you definitely have a sinus infection. He said it's causing irritation to your throat, which is causing the soreness. He said my lymph nodes felt fine. So of course, at that point, I feel like a complete idiot because I'm like, well, I just wasted your time. But he did. What made me feel better was he gave me what's called a Z-Pack, apparently, which I had never used before. And it's antibiotics, but it's not amoxicillin, which I have been given for when I had mono. And that's another antibiotic. And it's also given to people who are allergic to amoxicillin. But this is mostly given out for this problem of sinusitis. So all I can say is, even though I felt foolish, when I walked out of there, I was like, oh, thank God. Because earlier that day, I'm just like, it's probably going to be the end of my life. I'm never going to see my kid grow up. This is how you find out you have cancer. Because you look on the internet and everything leads to cancer eventually.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
I'm glad I went. that's, I guess, is the moral of the story. But because you never know. But it wasn't really anything to be too worried about.
Well, yeah, but you're glad you got it. I mean,
yep.
So that's the thing.
Exactly.
So.
And that was my week. And partially my week and stuff that I'm looking forward to coming up. So we'll see how the floors go.
Let me share with you the fruits of my Google search results. Our top hit, if you search "shooting stars replaced with Owen Wilson," gives you Star Wars, but every lightsaber sound is replaced with Owen Wilson.
I've seen that.
John Wick, but every gunshot is replaced with Owen Wilson. Last Jedi trailer, you get the hint. Star Wars, but the lightsaber sound like Owen Wilson. But here's we have famous movie lines, and here's a good one. I think this would be a top one to listen to. Owen Wilson saying "wow," but every "wow" is replaced with Owen Wilson.
How does that even work?
I don't know. Let me push play.
I wish I could hear.
They just really emphasize the wow.
Okay.
It's like everything. I don't know.
It's beyond words.
Yeah. As for myself, nothing super notable that I think that I really want to share. But however, coming up Saturday, my wife has a.
I'm sorry. What? Who?
Don't. Okay, Sean.
You do it to me all the time.
I know. I think she has I guess I'll call it a seminar, but she'll be going to Detroit pretty much all day. So just the boys flying solo from 9 a.m. till 6:30 p.m.
Wow.
Look out. Are
you going to teach him? You take him out to the woods? Boy. Teach him how to hunt and kill animals and live off the land?
It's basically going to be like God of War.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That's what it's going to be like. We're going to throw an axe and
I think you mean
shoot a deer with an arrow.
I think you mean Dad of War?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So we got that coming up. And then on Sunday, kind of funny, my wife was talking to her mother, and she's like, yeah, your dad really misses Aiden. He just talks about him a lot. I can tell he really wants to see him soon. And just like, oh, do you guys want to do something on Sunday? We can meet you somewhere. And she's like, well, would you and Jason, why don't we can watch them. Do you and Jason want to go see that movie? I was like, yeah, okay.
Yes, please.
So
Hereditary?
Hey, come here? Yeah.
Nice.
So we're gonna go see that on Sunday, and they're like, yeah, so you guys want to go out to lunch and then go to that movie? We'll watch Aiden. I'm like, oh, okay, see ya. Come.
You don't have to ask me twice.
Then it got me thinking. It's like, oh man, when he's ready and he had that first sleepover at Grandma and Grandpa's, I know part of me is gonna be all sad and miss him. But the other part of me that after I sleep into 8 o'clock is sleeping in, I'll be like, this is the greatest thing ever.
No, you're gonna be too busy waking up being like, why am I not being woken up by my son? What's happening? What's wrong?
Don't worry, I still got the dog.
That's true.
It was like the other day he woke up at 5, which is super uncharacteristic. And then the dog, we got him to settle back down. He goes back to sleep. Then the dog's like, oh, we're up. Why don't you go outside? Let me out. And then after getting done with that, it's 5:30. I was like, well, might as well just stay up now. Who did you
guys decide was the voice of your dog again? It made me laugh. I couldn't remember.
Oh, I just said it was Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito, that's right. Danny DeVito, but as his character from Always Sunny.
Yes.
It's basically Danny DeVito, but exaggerated to the nth degree. So.
Not the detective Pikachu, Danny DeVito.
No, never that.
And really, that's it. That's all I really want to I got to share. I don't really remember anything that happened. We went to the Children's Museum again last weekend, which is always fun to take him to. I did cheat on the. I didn't cheat on the diet, but last Saturday, I was like, I'm not logging anything. And for breakfast,
I did that over Father's Day.
I had what's called a waffle. It was a waffle sandwich.
Oh, that sounds good.
So it was a fried egg with cream cheese. I think it was cream cheese and chives, and then bacon, and then of course it's sandwiched between two waffles. Oh, it's so good.
That does sound good. That does sound good. You remember what that's from?
Yeah.
Yeah, we only watched it together 5 times.
You'll notice if you take the time to appreciate it, it looks like a bat wing.
Gosh. Gotta pull it
say
flat
he
like
looks a
paper.
brain. It's all veiny,
Oh, God.
wrinkly. So there you have it, and let's move on to the main
Yes.
event, shall we?
The main
So a long time
event.
ago, people, listeners, viewers, we used to do more script. Well, I don't want to say scripted, but I actually took the time to schedule out our shows, and then something happened. I think at the first of this year, and I just stopped doing it. And last week made me realize that that's a really bad thing, because when I think, we've been doing this a long time, we've been friends for a long time, we can just talk, we can free flow it, it'll be good, it'll be entertaining, it'll be fun. And then there was like the 10 minutes of the podcast last week. I was just like, this is horrible.
Lucas,
But I
what are you
can't
going to be doing later?
I'm not, but like, I'm still talking in my head. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. Shut up.
I hate
Just
those
stop.
moments.
Just stop. And then it's like, I've committed. I've already committed.
Yeah.
I got to keep going. So good news. We're bringing this stuff back. I'm working on getting everything planned out for the rest of the year. So we will never be a lull in the Fluxtaposed action. So we will have a rotation of our top threes, which is a varying discussion on random lists that we come up. We always like to get your feedback as listeners.
If you have an idea for a top three, you should send it our way.
Yeah, feel free to send them. We would gladly accept that. Discussions, which is then we'd like to actually have a focused discussion on some sort of topic point, which we usually determine as we go. We have our Netflixations. That's not going anywhere.
When we
still
remember
haven't
to do them.
Yeah, we haven't tested game night, so we don't know when game night's going to happen. But that's game night's going to be a big iffy now. I don't.
There's a lot working now, let alone like it won't be too bad once we get the game or once we get the show going, but it definitely would have to wait until we know that everything is fine in the show, and then like now we could start up a game because we know everything's okay. But clearly we have other issues going on half the time anyway. So
yeah, so that's a little scarier. So with that backstory out of the way, we are doing a top three tonight, and that is going to be gaming weapons. So our top three weapons from video games. And Lucas has created a totally objective scoring system, or as we like to call the TOSS. The TOSS. The salad toss.
Yeah, we use that in Battle of the Beer is where I got the idea for that, because it's a totally objective scoring system that you can toss out the window. If you want
shameless plug. Please go to youtube.com/Battle of the Beer. Subscribe today. Tell all your friends.
Ooh, and if you're lucky, there might be one coming out tomorrow. I don't know. It's a secret.
Secret. You've got a secret.
That's right. Under my skin.
Lucas and I have made our lists.
Yes. We checked it twice.
And then we have... I didn't know this many of you people listen to this podcast.
For
all this list.
In the past, we've put this top three. Tell us your top three out like a week ahead of time. We've gotten about the same amount of responses, if not more, for something that we posted yesterday for this. It's like,
we're talking in our private Flexible chat. You're like, yeah, we should probably tweet that out for listeners. Like, I completely forgot we were doing that tomorrow. Yes.
I was worried we were doing the Netflixation, so I was like, do I have to sneak this in real quick?
No, because I haven't watched that yet.
Excellent.
So we'll go back and forth. And then we'll just do lightning round through as many listeners as we can fit into this, as well as for podcast sake. Lucas, let's explain though how the toss works for the purpose of this top three.
So for the top three, the toss system is a combination of recognition, which means how iconic is this weapon as a game weapon. As in, like, could you look at that and know where it came from? But also as something that, I guess that really explains the whole category. I don't think there's more I need to say. I thought I had another thought, but then I was like, no, that pretty
at first, when I said you just have it abbreviated as recog, and I was like, is that like some cool term from one of his strategy games I don't know about?
Like it's some special characteristic and you have to roll dice and find out. No. And then we have damage, which damage in general, but also extra points for the amount of damage it does in the game. For instance, if it's like the ultimate weapon from a game or something like that. But also within reason to a certain degree, because there's some things on the list that even though they do a lot of damage in game, it may not make sense, or vice versa. And then utility, which is a really big one because it needs to be something that is easy for anybody to use as a weapon, but it also needs to have a lot of, or it doesn't need to, but if it has more functions than one, then it gets bonus points in this category as well. So, like something that, like a claw of some sort that you can use to grapple with, but also kill people, that type of thing. So that's out of 1 out of 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. And you add all that up and you get 15 points, and then you got an overall score that tells you how good of a weapon it is. In my totally objective scoring system.
But will it cut?
Exactly.
I feel like I'm on Forged in Fire right now.
You should. A very shitty Forged in Fire, where more like forged in like lukewarm water type deal.
Okay. I like that. All right. Well, Lucas, are yours in any particular order?
No, they're not. But I do have an honorable mention. So if we go back and forth,
I can mentally have an honorable. Well, I already have mentally have an honorable mention.
Oh, good, so perfect. That's fine. Well, then it doesn't matter. Well,
feel free to share whichever you would like.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna go down my list and start with the Mega Buster from Mega Man.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Thank you. Every top whatever list needs
Cotton, that's a bold choice, I think.
Yes. Somebody's been paying attention to their Discord servers lately.
Giggity.
Now, we're not going to do this for everyone, but for at least ours, this has an overall score, toss score of 12. And that's because while recognizable in the brand, obviously, because it's Mega Man's basically only weapon, because it changes up so much, it has a little bit of an identity crisis, right? So you have the Mega Buster, but you also have the ability to change weapons on the fly. And because of that, I feel like, somebody might look at you on the street and be like, oh, you're using Leaf Man's shield? I thought you had the Mega Buster, you loser, not knowing that, it can do all those
Everybody
things.
knows that Pharaoh Man's the real boss anyway.
That's true. He punched Mega Man out the window that one time. I think that was the only time they ever fought hand to hand or something.
Yeah, anything ever happened, I think.
Yeah, exactly. In 2 seasons or whatever it was. Which leads, of course, to the utility score of 5, because that means you've got all these weapons at your disposal, some better than others, but still, you can... Who doesn't want to shoot Metal Man's saw blades out of their arm? That sounds great, right?
I know I do.
I do. But of course, the damage is just middling, because it's not exactly, when it's just the Mega Buster, it's not exactly the most powerful thing in the universe. But because you can switch out and use different weapons, some of them being very powerful, some of them not so powerful, we'll just give it an overall score of 3, an average score. Giving it a 12 on the toss score.
Who wore it best?
Ooh.
Mega Man or Samus?
I like the chunky style of the Mega Man, honestly. And plus I'm biased, so. Now if we want to talk about skin tight suits, that's a whole nother.
Now he is the Blue Bomber after all. Yeah, the Mega Buster is always just cool, the gun arm thing, is always something that you remember. And it's still one of those items, even though it's so dumb, I don't think I'll ever buy it, but every once in a while I'll be on ThinkGeek and it's kind of want that.
The helmet's worse. If you've ever seen anyone wear it, it's just bad.
Great in theory, but in terms of proportions and actual humans, just
unless your eyeballs are like this, like goggles, the size of goggles, then you're not pulling that look off front.
Now, the Proto Man helmet you can pull off because of the visor.
The shades.
Yeah.
Put the visor down, you're basically Judge Dredd.
Yeah, that's
better than in the game.
The Proto Man whistle. That's great. It's great.
Thank you.
Pick. I like the Mega Buster.
Jason, tell me what you got.
I thought about this for a while. And there's a lot of guns, a lot of weapons that are iconic, I think, in gaming. The various incarnations of the shotgun, you could name a game and try to pull a shotgun. The BFG, that's also
Mm-hmm.
but I like that was too easy. So I went to guns that, or not just guns, but weapons that I had a particular flair with. And the first one I can remember thinking of that was just ridiculous and overpowered is the custom Magnum from Resident Evil 2.
Ooh.
So, you have the Magnum, and eventually
Yes.
you get the upgrades, and the custom Magnum, I remember if it adds I feel like, if I remember, it adds a longer barrel to it, and then it gave a stock onto it as well. And so once it was upgraded with the custom Magnum, which was like at the end of the game, like you're in the labs underneath at the city and everything. I feel like with the custom Magnum, you could, if I remember correctly, you could just fire the gun in any direction. I don't remember if you had to be aiming at the zombies, but I would always aim at the zombies, and it didn't matter. You could be pointing straight up at the ceiling or down the floor, and all their heads would just explode.
I do feel like you could like point up to the ceiling and it would explode heads for sure.
And it was just ridiculous, especially for the way I played Resident Evil. It was like you're hoarding ammo so much, and then finally you get to the point in the game where you have more than you ever need, and you're like, finally, I can just destroy everything. And it was just so rewarding.
That's a good feeling in that game, getting a bunch of ammo.
And based on our toss system, it's it's middle of the road in recognition. It's just a Magnum.
You have to work to get it. Anything that's kind of buried like that, I
think the most recognizable Magnum would have to be the Deagle from Counter-Strike.
That's true. That is true. That's beautiful gun.
Or maybe would you say that Revolver Ocelots is a Magnum?
It's a revolver. It's definitely
like
a
Colt
revolver. Yeah, I don't remember Smith and Wesson. I don't know. It's probably got its own credit in one of the games, I'm sure.
Right. Damage comes in at a 4.
Yes.
Utility, again, middle of the road. I mean, you're kind of limited in your options here. So
it's a powerful pistol, and it shoots slowly too.
Yeah. And your reload. Whew, look out.
Oh God.
So our custom Magnum clocks in at a 10.
Not bad.
On the toss scale.
Not bad. I do like a good gun. A good revolver style gun.
But this gun is not the best gun ever.
This gun is the best gun ever.
Got to get it in every episode.
It's
you
true.
Guys know it.
And yet we still have yet to just play it at the beginning of an episode or something.
That's true.
Probably get sued. So for my next one, this one obviously comes from the fact that I've been playing a lot of this game recently.
Yeah.
But also because I do kind of think of it, like when I first got it, I was like, damn, this is crazy. And that's the Fat Man from the Fallout series. And what this is, if you're not familiar with it, is basically a miniature nuke launcher. So you do get like these mini nukes that you put in this sling. Basically, you pull the trigger, it slings the nuke out about 50 feet, 100 feet, and then you see this little tiny mushroom cloud rise up from the ground where you shot it, and you better hope to hell you shot it far enough, because otherwise you're gone, you're toast. You're gonna look like oh, never mind, I almost spoiled the movie for people who are waiting around to see it. Never mind, let's just move on. However, when I got to thinking about it, when it came to the toss system, Jason, really the only thing saving this is damage, because recognition, again, kind of like the custom Magnum, you kind of don't really encounter the weapon until you've been wandering around a bit. It's not on the cover, as far as I know, of any of the games or anything like that. So I just give it a 3 because it is a nuke. So you think nukes, Fallout, it all kind of goes together. But at the end of the day, nobody says, oh, yeah, that's the iconic weapon from Fallout. Damage is obviously a 5. That goes without saying. Utility hurts it so much. Just imagine lugging. First of all, you have to carry around mini nukes. That's bad enough already. They kind of were the size of mini kegs. Let's just put it that way. So if you have more than 2, you're pretty much screwed. And then trying to shoot that thing and not kill yourself is probably terrible. So I would just suggest not using it at all, but it looks cool, and when it goes off, it looks cool. So that gives it a toss score of 9. Not great. Not great for something that is so powerful.
So powerful.
Speaking of powerful.
Well, actually, I'm reversing my order because that one needs to be last. That one deserves to be last.
That's the sound of
it. But I went to this next gun has some personal affection for me. Again, I went with the gun, and that is the sniper rifle from the Halo series. Specifically for me, Halo 3, because if we're gonna talk about sniper rifles, let's face it. Again, the game that has probably the most iconic sniper rifle, Counter-Strike. I mean,
yeah, the op.
The op was just like, whenever I still to this day, when I think of sniper rifles, I think of the op and like come on, 360 no scope.
I was gonna say, I feel like was it Halo that originated the 360 no scope, or was it Counter-Strike? I guess it would probably have been Counter-Strike.
It was either Counter-Strike, Halo, or Call of Duty. I can't think of which it would be.
All of them at the same time.
But for me, it's like, that sniper rifle, it's not like an amazing gun, but it's more like the mechanics of Halo. That was like one of the first games that I can actually snipe with this thing, and that was so much fun to play like sniper maps with that Halo's
what
rifle.
Is it, Big Gulch or
Blood Gulch?
Blood Gulch. Yes.
It was just a lot more forgiving. Probably the hitboxes is really why it was a little more forgiving, but I could actually get headshots consistently with that gun. And Halo multiplayer was always fun. I miss Halo, and I can't play anymore because I sold my Xbox, but
damn shame.
Yeah, but so recognition. I mean, yeah, I think people are gonna know it, but I mean, it's standard outfit. Everyone gets one.
Yeah, it's not as
damage.
Oh, I was gonna say it's not like the sword or anything like that, or even the warthog, which I would say is more Halo.
Or the Needler.
Yeah, or the armor. Let's not forget the armor.
Damage. I mean, it is a sniper rifle. It can one-hit kill.
Boom! Headshot.
In Halo, 2 hits, but still. So we got a 5. Utility, again.
Not everyone can be a sniper.
That's right. So the sniper rifle comes in at an 11.
Not bad. That's not too bad.
It's our highest. It's tied behind the Mega Buster, our highest scoring weapon so far.
This is true. For my next one, comes from a series that is near and dear to my heart. Probably one of the first real PC experiences I remember having for a video game. I updated my computer to be able to play this game.
I'm glad you adjusted that to say a video game, because I was like, first computer experiences.
Yes, that would have taken a long time. No, that would have had to have been missed probably. Most everyone's, because they chucked that out with every compuber. They're like, here, play Myst, so you buy a CD-ROM.
I was just making a porn joke, but I like where you're going better.
No, I'm a saint. I don't even know what porn is. What are you talking about? It's the crowbar from Half-Life.
Ooh.
Recognition. I mean, if you've played Half-Life, every time you see a crowbar, you can't help but think of Half-Life, I feel like, or at least I do. It's at a time when pretty much nearly every first-person shooter was using like a knife as a your I'm out of ammo weapon, your melee weapon, or even just punching. They went with a crowbar of all things, and it just kind of stuck out in your mind at that time because it's a crowbar.
Yeah,
like, who chooses that? But obviously that means the damage not so good as far, at least compared to any of the other weapons that you get in Half-Life. It really is only good for smashing off head crabs if they get too close. But one thing it's really good at is being a tool, because it basically is a tool more so than a weapon, which means, hey, if there's a crate that you need to open, all you got to do is bash it 2 times and it'll break open, as we learn in that game. And then you can get med packs and such. And then, of course, you could use it to open doors or anything like that. So it's got some utility to it that I think a typical weapon would lack. So overall, it gets a 10. But you definitely want to be bringing something else with you to compensate for the lack of damage that's going on. Plus, close quarters battle, if you don't know what you're doing, that can get a little squirrely.
That's right.
Zombies will chew your hands off.
No. That's true. Well, my third pick then comes from the land of style. It can be wielded haphazardly, but only true masters can use it. And this, I can't wait to have this at my disposal, and I can't wait to hopefully someday master the art that this character is. Probably one of the funnest. It's funny watching the documentaries I have, because this character is always known as he's like tier wise not the best, but like everyone loves to watch him be played at a high skill level because it's just the way the character moves, and that is Captain Falcon, and that of course referring to the Falcon.
I was wondering if you were going to do that.
Oh, so I mean, man, who doesn't like if you play Captain Falcon? It's all you're trying to do is in horrible ways trying to Falcon punch someone.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're playing Captain Falcon wrong. Recognition. I mean, this guy charges up and delivers a punch that has a fiery phoenix of death that sends his opponents flying. I mean,
I feel like I've heard people say Falcon Punch that don't even know where it comes from.
There's a beer brewed here in Michigan called Falcon Punch IPA. I mean,
exactly.
It was delicious.
Let's both take drinks at the same time.
That's right. Let's do that. So, very high recognition. Damage. I mean, it's a ridiculous anime punch. It's got to be high damage.
It sends you flying if you have low enough or high enough. What is it called? Life percentage thing.
Yep.
So it can be deadly. Well, from what I was reading, because some of these I had to look up because I'm not particularly familiar with them, at least within the world of the game mechanics. And it said it's only seconded as far as knockout power to the baseball bat, I think, the pick up the bat. At least in one of the iterations of the game, obviously.
Yeah, one version.
So
I mean, it should be. I mean, you get charged it up. You're vulnerable during the charge. Yeah, totally worth it. Mm-hmm. And utility. I mean, you can neutral jump. You can jump while you're charging. I mean, there's lots of ways you creatively can abuse this.
And it's your hands. You never run out of. You never run out of ammo.
You don't have ammo, so I mean, you're set. Which this is going to give the Falcon Punch a 13. It's our highest score right now. Yes, a 13 out of 5.
I was gonna say, if you don't know how to use your hands, then you're really in trouble. What?
Oh, nothing. I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. For my honorable mention, wow. This came to light, or came to my mind pretty much immediately when I think of iconic weapons. But the problem is, we didn't say iconic weapons. We said just weapons. And so I got to thinking about it, and I was right. When I put it to the test, to my toss test, as it were, it didn't hold up. And that's the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII, wielded by, of course, Cloud McMasterson. Recognition, it was all over the promotional art, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get away from it. It's a big-ass sword. Probably the only one that could even be considered more popular than that would be Sephiroth's ridiculous, whatever it's called, katana thing.
The Masamune.
Is it called the Masamune?
It is called the Masamune.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Frog's Masamune.
See, yeah, that's going to be...
but they're different styles. Like, this is a katana. And
the other
Frog's
one's like a broadsword or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I did some research. I've done a lot of research. I'm always researching, apparently. If it's not floors, it's video game weapons. Here's the thing, though. It's the starting weapon. While it is a sword and it's probably better than some of the other characters' starting weapons, the damage...
It's a starting weapon.
It doesn't do so good. Can't you upgrade it, though, or something? I don't remember. Doesn't it scale or something? Or am I wrong?
No, I don't think it does, because...
Okay.
I replaced it numerous times.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I ever used it again.
Plus, materia slots is going to be an issue.
Yeah, that was always... Whenever I picked something up that didn't have a materia slot on it, I was like, yep, never going to use that then. Just,
right?
Whatever. Utility. Of course, again, a giant unwieldy slab of steel is probably the least effective thing that you're... When the sword is as large as you are, you're going to need some serious training to be able to swing that thing the way he does. I mean, in his winning animation, he spins it around with the greatest of ease. Like, the thing weighs like 2 pounds. So clearly he had some serious training. If I tried to pick that up, I don't even know if I could. So
the hilt is just... the hilt and pommel. There's just a lot of nice balance.
A lot of balance.
So you don't even know.
Yeah, it looks like somebody from Forged in Fire just like quit halfway through the process of banging out one of those knives or whatever they made.
Yeah.
So that's my honorable mention. Getting an 8 overall. Not a great score, especially for a sword.
My honorable mention, I kind of came up here on the fly, and originally it was one that someone else has on their list already, so I didn't want to double dip, so I backed away from that because it was almost on my list when we first put this together.
Okay.
Then I thought, okay, let's go this route, and I just want to mention it because I'm surprised no one doesn't have this on their list. This is not my pick, but I think it deserves to be mentioned. The Hammer of Dawn from the Gears of War series.
Oh, that's the thing that you with the laser sight, right? And then
and it just brings down death and destruction and kills everything. But my pick is actually going back to one of my favorite to this day PC multiplayer experiences, Aliens versus Predator.
Oh wow.
The Predator disc, because it's the cheapest weapon in gaming.
Those are always the best.
Because the Predator has, you're fighting Marines or aliens, or you could be fighting other predators. So you switch your vision. By doing that, it gives you the ability to lock on to your targets. And so you have a disc, and literally you get the lock, little tick, and then he throws the disc, and it just tracks them and kills them. I think it always one hit kills. It would, because it would either decapitate or dismember the character model.
I was gonna say it goes right to the neck.
It comes back to you,
so you can use it again.
It could get stuck in the wall, and you can go retrieve it. But yeah, it comes back to you, and you can just throw it again. So
wow.
Yeah, usually it was banned in a lot of online lobbies, or as a gentleman's agreement, you just wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cheap weapon. I mean, but it was so fun. It was so rewarding to oh, you little bastard, disco. Great.
You little bastard.
Great. So I would say in terms of recognition, it's not really ever. It's shown in the second movie. He uses it.
Yeah.
It's
no shoulder cannon though.
Yeah, it's no shoulder cannon. That's definitely the more iconic. So it doesn't quite match up there. I'd say I would give it a 3 on recognition. Okay. Damage, I mean, it slices, it dices.
One hit kill.
Yeah, a one hit kill. I'd say a 4.
I'd agree with that.
I'd do a 4 because it's a blunt weapon. It's piercing. It's not like a explosive or area of effect.
Yeah, I mean, all you'd have to do is get out of the line of sight, and you. It's not like it's homing to the point where.
Yeah.
It's like heat seeking or anything like that.
Right. And utility. I guess I'm going to give it a 4 in utility because, I mean, you can climb walls for it. You can do self-surgery. You can treat your wounds by slicing yourself open. It can be used as a melee weapon.
Well, and like you said, all you got to do is lock on, and I feel like you could drop it, and it would just go to its target.
Yeah.
So I would agree with that.
That's going to bring the disc at an 11 on the toss scale.
Nice.
So those are our
and
selections.
you toss the disc, so it's a good scale.
It's so meta,
It is very meta.
So we are going to do. How are we going to do this, Lucas? Just lightning round.
We'll just go back and forth, and I figured we could give the overall score. And if anyone asks, that's why I put the. I do have the breakdown for anybody who's like, "Whoa, why did you rate this that way and that this way?" So I do have answers for that.
Okay.
So I figure lightning round, and if you want, you can do the overall score, and if you want, if there's anything notable for you to for us to discuss about the score or anything like that, then we could and go through it. 'Cause we got a lot of entries, which is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you everyone who sent us a submission. So starting off, and these are in no particular order, just how I happen to copy and paste them into the document. Adam Leonard. He has Flood from Mario Sunshine coming in at an 8. The Masamune from Chrono Trigger, an 11. And the Portal Gun from Portal, also an 11. Now, just a reminder that we are the ones, Lucas did the scoring. The scores were not provided to us from the submissions.
Yes, that's true.
When I saw Flood, I was like, that makes me smile, because I was like, oh, Flood, I didn't even think of him. So.
Damage is terrible on that, though. I mean, it's water.
Yeah. Well, damage on the portal gun. I mean,
yeah, that doesn't even hurt anybody unless you get really creative.
Yeah. But I like the list.
So yes, I do too. And there were some on there that definitely I hadn't even thought of.
Honestly. I like that. Yeah, there's a lot of originality we saw in these submissions. So.
Yeah, I was worried we were gonna get even some duplicates from what we wrote. And for the most part, that didn't really happen, especially for how many people had entered. Skinny I Need Sleep Matt at Skinny Matt K says, Number 3, the air pump from Dig Dug, because Dig Dug is amazing.
It is. I agree.
Coming in at a 10. It is pretty much the only weapon in that game, but I don't know. Dig Dug's coming on an age. It's going to be left behind soon. People will be like, "What's Dig Dug? I don't even know what you're talking about." The BFG 9000, which we talked about, comes in number 2. No explanation is necessary. That comes in at a 12. And then, of course, the Master Sword is just such an iconic weapon from Legend of Zelda, also coming in at a 12. Honorable
Sword
mention.
of Evil's Bane.
It's true. Honorable mention is this one's going to be tough to beat, Jason. The infamous blue shell from Mario Kart. No other weapon has ever ruined so many friendships. Coming in at a whopping 14, and the only reason why it doesn't come in at a 15 is because it doesn't kill you, but it does everything else to you, and it's easy to use.
And you can't get it if you're in first place.
Exactly. So when you have it, easy to use, obviously super iconic because everybody knows what it is if you win a lot of races, and does everything short of killing you. So 14. Nice list. Like it.
Nice list. Moving on, Ryan Craig at Mathman1024, the home run bat from Smash Bros.
Yep.
Clocks in at a 10. Rydia's Bahamut summon from Final Fantasy IV. It's a 13. I'm not familiar. I don't think I've played Final Fantasy IV, so I'm not familiar. But Bahamut was always my favorite summons.
I had to do a little research, and Wikipedia claims that this is arguably one of the most powerful summons in the game. So I took that into account.
That was the 13. Can't remember if I mentioned that. And then, depending on who you want to play as, Ryu or Ken's Dragon Punch comes in at 11.
Nice. Surprised he didn't go with the Hadouken. I feel like that would have been the kind of
the
obvious.
Hurricane, or the Shoryuken.
Yeah, the Shoryuken. Isn't that the Dragon Punch?
I don't think.
Shoryuken is the Dragon Punch, and then the Hatsakaroken or whatever.
I don't know them by names. I just know them by the sound effects.
Just like my women.
But I think so. I think that is the Dragon Punch. Yeah.
Cool. All right, good list.
Good list.
Tom Servo at Nathan Horton. Here's who 10 says the spread from Contra. Definitely, I would say probably the most iconic weapon from that game. Comes in at a 12. The cerebral bore.
This was almost on my list. This was one of my honorable mentions.
I was not. I had to look this up. I was not familiar with this. I think I only played the first Turok, and maybe that is why.
Oh gosh, yeah. This made its debut in Turok 2, and then it's in the third one, Rage Wars, which was like the arena multiplayer game. If you really want to get the cerebral bore experience, though, you got to play in the one multiplayer game mode where one player is a monkey, and your goal is to try to kill them. So, because cerebral boring a monkey is very satisfying.
Oh God, I want somebody to pull that audio out of context. Cerebral boring a monkey is very satisfying. Jason said it first. I gave that a 12. Again, I'm not super familiar with it, but from what I've read, it sounds like it was a little bit hard to use and also didn't work on every enemy type in the game because some of them didn't have brains and all this other stuff. So,
well, let's try to say it locks on, it shoots out, and it drills into their head.
And it goes, blah, 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 blah. That was a 12. And then the golden gun, which is another strong one because obviously it is a good iconic weapon from that game besides maybe slappers.
Slappers.
If I remember correctly,
slappers.
Yeah, exactly. If I remember correctly, it's a one-hit kill, isn't it? The golden gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I mean, gives it a 5, and then
wasn't the Clob? Wasn't that a gun in GoldenEye?
Yeah, it was the gun that you tried to not get. Everyone was like, "Oh, all I could find was the." Was it the Clob? I think it was.
I feel like it's
something
the
like that. And then, of course, it is a pistol, so it's a little bit. It's not a spray and pray. You know, you gotta kind of pick your shot. So overall, gives it a 14. That is a strong list. A 12, a 12, and a 14.
It's a good list. It's a good list.
Well done, sir.
Yes. Moving on, Redeemed. Tyler Vidito at 2x Tyler, the Angel Halo from Monster Girl Quest. Lucas, I'm not familiar with this one.
I had to look this up. It's from. Sorry, I guess I should have done the opposite order. From what I understand, this is some kind of sword that you get in the story, and it allows you to fight angels or kills angels or does, I don't know. I don't really know.
Angels and demons.
Angels.
Okay.
Angels and airwaves. Okay. I'm not doing it justice, I'm sure. So I tried my best.
Okay. Well, that's a 10. The golden sword from Link to the Past, which is the highest upgraded sword you can get in Link to the Past, is a 12. And the tranquilizer gun from Metal Gear Solid series, a 9.
Yes, that was a good one too. I did like the tranquilizer gun. I'm not for killing, Jason. I'm all about those. Gosh dang, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'm getting a lot of electrical noises and pops and fizzes going on in my ear set right now. So I hope that's not coming through. But anyways, I'm not one for killing, is what I'm saying. I'm all about knockouts. So.
All right.
Oh yeah, I guess it's me now.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one.
We gotta pick up the frequency.
Sorry. Mahoney family at Coach Hulk. Good to see you, sir. The zone read and I love this.
I love Mo's answers.
I love this, and I thought about trying to score it, but I was like, I have too many to score. The zone read in EA Madden NFL, Aaron Donald 97 in Madden, and the Warriors in an NBA game.
That's good. They're legit answers.
That's a lot of sports right there. All of them weapons. Everything's a weapon now.
Mono sports games. Donnie, bracket, PSVG, bracket. At playing, and microphone emoji. At playing Nintendo. There ain't no G's in playing Nintendo. The Master Sword, again at a 12. The Lancer, that was almost on one of my lists too, from Gears of War at 11. And the Cerebral Bore pops up again, 12.
Yes. Surprisingly popular. It's a me at Josh Bones with an exclamation point in the it's a me, not Josh Bones. Also using proper grammar with the apostrophe there. I mean, Flying Sheep, which gets a 9. I'm assuming that's this, and the Holy Hand Grenade, which gets an 8, are both from Worms.
I believe so. Holy Hand Grenade was always great.
And Blades of Chaos, which gets a 9, because, my God, blades, basically daggers on chains that you whirl around your head, just sounds like a good way to kill yourself. Or at least give yourself a really bad shave.
Kevin Austin at PSGG Kevin, the BFG, a 12. The Master Sword, a 12. And, spoiler, the highest rated weapon in the TOS system.
Mm-hmm.
Batman. Coming in at a 15. He's 5s across the board. His story checks out. As Kevin put it, he alone is the greatest weapon of all.
It's true. He's got a utility for everything. He does a lot of damage with his karate. And, I mean, how iconic. He even surpassed the fact that DC is one of the worst comic book makers in our generation. So, you know, what now I'm just intentionally starting fights. Nathan Thomas. Sorry, I scrolled.
Voik Ed by Nathan.
Yes, with a microphone as well. Man, I need to get a microphone in my name. I'm gonna have to talk to Twitter about that. At voiced by Nathan. Number 1, the Force, as in Star Wars. Good try, you cheater, because that seems a little bit like I don't know, like all of the Force, you know. Not even a power. You couldn't just pick a power. Lightsaber. The lightsaber, also from Star Wars. A very powerful choice. Watch your limbs, though. It could get dangerous. But you can't open a door with it. We've seen that. Episode 1. Best part of the whole movie. And then the Halo ring, which, I mean, an entire ring. That's, I mean, I guess
is that like what you give your fiance, like a nice Halo ring? I mean,
when I looked it up, I did get that as the first. I'm like, no,
he
means
from Halo. The actual.
Oh yeah, with the flood on it and everything. Yeah, so an entire ring, if you will, which comes in at 11. So,
you know, someone should just. Is it Chuck Norris has to be in a video game, right? We could just put Chuck Norris in.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, Batman, Chuck Norris. It's kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
Lightsabers are 14. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Oh, okay. Halo ring comes at 11. Hypecaster at Hypecaster, a.k.a. Antonio Guillen. Oh, Antonio, we need to talk about this list. Number 1, Your Mind from Chess Ultra. Number 2, Your Mind as in used in Chess Ultra. And number 3, Your Mind as in used in Chess Ultra. Lucas, you did not score this one quite so fairly. Apparently you have low self-esteem on Your Mind. You're giving straight ones across the board.
That's right. My mind is hard to use. It does no damage, and it's not iconic at all. So
if you would have used Battle Chess, I think we would.
Yes, then I probably could have given you a 2, maybe, in damage. Eric Baker at Lombax Whisperer says Rhino, which I had to look up these first two because I'm not familiar with this series. Rhino from Ratchet and Clank, which gets an 8 because it's a giant missile launcher basically, but it launches an entire barrage of missiles in one gun. So can you imagine holding onto that thing when it goes off? It's just, you'd be like up in the air. The Sheepinator, which honestly doesn't do a lot of damage, but I did read if you upgrade it, you can turn them into, it's like a black Sheepinator, which makes them explode, and that sounds fun.
Ooh.
That gets a 7, also from Ratchet and Clank. And then, of course, the Lancer, which comes in at a 12 on the TOS score.
I was really hoping someone would either put the dubstep gun in from
I thought about using
from Saints Row fame or the dildo.
I thought about using that actually.
Tyler Rowland, the Master Sword, 12. Spread Gun from Contra again, a 12, and the Mega Buster, also 12.
I give that tweet a 12.
Yeah, out of 5.
Clayton Gretzner. These are coming in from Facebook, by the way. Clayton Gretzner.
Facebooks.
Yeah. Says the Master Sword. I think that's the most popular answer so far.
I think it is.
Coming in at 12. Golden Gun coming in at a 14. And the Blue Shell coming in at a 14 with an honorable mention that made me giggle. The wooden sword from every RPG that you start in and get a wooden sword.
Yes.
Which comes in at a 9 because honestly, if you're familiar with RPGs, you know the wooden sword in the sadness of the wooden sword.
We had one last submission that squeaked in right before we started the show from Bear the Hairless at Chad Fackler, number 1 on Twitter. Hopefully I said Fackler. That's kind of fun to say. Fackler. Hey, Fackler.
Sounds like something you would yell in the army. Fackler, get over here.
His list consists of the BFG from Doom, which I believe we had at a 13.
12.
A 12? The MGL from Gra. I don't know what that is.
Ghost Recon Advanced
Warfighter.
Fighter.
I don't know what the MGL is though, so it's probably somebody.
I give it a 10.
Rifle. and then the Needler from Halo, which is great. I'd say great in utility and it has good recognition.
But the damage is not so good.
You gotta stack the needles. In order to really
I'd give it a 3. So. I think that's probably. I'd probably give it an 11.
That's what I was thinking, 11.
Completely arbitrary number.
Hey, thanks for the submission, Chad. Yeah, and that's our list. Exactly. Those are our top 3. Those are our top 3. That concludes our top 3.
If you had to pull one favorite from the crowd, what would you say? What would you say? Oh yeah, I didn't think about that, or I totally agree and wish I would have put it on my list.
I like the inclusion of. I think I'm going to go for just the originality of it. I love how Adam did Flood. I think that's just...
It caught your attention from the very beginning.
I mean, it's from Adam, so
that's
he
true.
Has my attention.
Oh, Adam sent a tweet to our show.
Adam tweeted at us, and it didn't insult me personally.
That's what you really have to worry about with him, is when does he insult you? Well, you did put it first, which means you like him best, because as we know, these are all in the order of how much we love you.
I did like Tyler's tranquilizer gun.
Yes, that is a good one. I'm going to go with the Blue Shell, honestly. Obviously, because it did so well. I mean, I wonder why. But also because it's funny. I don't really consider it as a weapon, but even though you use it like a weapon is used, I just didn't even think of Mario Kart at all. So there you have it.
There you have it. All right, well, that's our list. Thanks to everybody who sent us a submission. We'll always look out on Twitter. Well, Facebook apparently worked as well. Look up on... I think what helps is if I do a post on the website, because then it'll automatically push out to both. I think that helps get some traction.
Wow.
So thank you for submitting, everybody. Feel free to stick around. We'll announce more top 3s in the future. We'd love to get your feedback to share on this episode like we did just now. And speaking of sharing, it's time to share with all of you an OC remix.
That's right. The way you said that made me
remix.
feel like I should have like a soundbite ready or something.
Oh,
like,
I had like a hiccup.
OC.
I had a hiccup like
Yeah.
coming in there.
I'm like, am I forgetting something? What's going
Yeah.
on? Excellent.
So every week we like to randomly select one of the top most recent submissions from Overclocked Remix, and we play it here for you on the show. Occasionally I do update. We have a playlist on our YouTube channel of every remix we've ever played on the show. I think we're up to like 100 and something. I think we're over like 150. We've played a lot of remixes. A whole lot of remixes.
Oh, this is a good one. It's number 17, and it is Dark Side of the Moon. I'll let you elaborate.
Oh, heck yeah. I love Dark Side of the Moon. This is coming from DuckTales, a remix called Dark Side of the Moon. It's by Rotten Eggplant. For one that is familiar, DuckTales was released in 1990 on the Nintendo Entertainment System by Capcom. This is probably one of my favorite song, like things, like video game pieces that gets covered or remixed. I love the
Especially
Moon theme. It's so,
even just from Nintendo,
so
like a Nintendo song, like from that era is, I don't know, it's iconic.
Yeah, it's
Hashtag
good.
iconic.
Especially when you get someone that does like a metal cover and they're playing like doing taps of it.
This is true. This is
Great.
true.
That's how you play. That's how you tap.
That's how you play
tap
any
like-
instrument. Is sounds
Yeah.
like when you go. It sounds like when you're in a. I think the castle from Mario. That's what it reminded me of.
That's how I do it.
Good times. Good
that's how I do it.
times.
Well, we are going to play this remix. We'll step aside momentarily, and then we will come back with a little what you playing. We'll finish the show, and we'll send you on your way out into the night. Lucas, are you ready?
No. Keep going for a second.
Oh no, he's making me freestyle. This is always going to be bad. Hey, Sean Capri's here. Let's say hello to the chat.
Hi.
Dude427, hi dude.
Always coming
Patrick,
in right
Patrick Patty Wagon and Tentalk himself. He's here. Sean Capri is here. Lincoln must be asleep. Oh wait, no, we just running long. That's the secret. That's the secret. Hi guys. Oh hi. I was on
Secret.
Sean and I did episode of If We Ran Nintendo last night. It's gonna release tomorrow morning on your YouTube on your podcast feeds. You can listen to it. Talked about all the things, how we can run Nintendo better than them themselves. Lucas is not making good progress here. I'm starting to panic now.
It's not showing up for some reason. We may have to. We may really have to actually get a different app going on here.
No. Well, time to fix it in post. Sorry, live listeners, you don't get to hear it.
I'll give it one more shot. And give it all that I got.
I'm pulling my headphone in.
Rank.
Bum, 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 bum.
Checking one more time. One more time. I'll just mouth the whole thing. Yeah, it didn't show up. That's really disappointing. What's the point of having the ability to see? It works through Google Drive, or at least it's supposed to, or Google Drive,
Yeah.
as I was about to say. Problem is when it doesn't actually add to the Google Drive, even though I can clearly see it happening on my end.
Do you think? It usually doesn't let you play it from YouTube or anything like that.
I can
It's
play
like
it through. I can play it through the computer. You'll just have to be really quiet. What do you think about that?
Okay.
All right, shut up so I can play this now.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Lucas is gonna play that. And we'll be back. Bye. So we realized that is like a 7-minute song. So we just decided you get the idea there. I mean, what are you gonna do there?
That represents pretty much everything that's ever been released on that website between like 2000 and 2010, probably.
I was taking me back to like all the first remixes I ever downloaded were all like all these very trance techno heavy. If it doesn't have like that beat, I don't want it. So there you go. We had to make an executive decision, but we'll put it up on our YouTube playlist. Listen to the whole thing. I liked what I heard.
Yeah, it was fine. Was it by Rebecca E. Tripp, though? That's the real
I don't
question.
think so. I think we took a break from her for a week. Lucas, speaking of liking what I hear, I want to hear you talk some what you playing. Oh, I hate this application already.
Yep.
It's fired.
It's done. You're out of here.
Where's Sean Capri? He's doing really good acapella versions.
Good. Well, what I was gonna play is na 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 na. Can you guess what it was?
Zelda.
It was Zelda. Here.
I don't hear it through your computer, so
that's okay. Yeah, you don't.
Okay.
But yeah, you don't. That's how I want it. It was Yahoo! Sunset Riders.
Oh, I was gonna say I have no idea what it is, but I like what.
I like what I'm hearing.
Regale me with your tales of gaming glory, sir.
Okay, I will do that now. Fallout New Vegas. I'm playing more of it, Jason. Can you believe it? I'm going the distance. I'm going
Are you
for
going for speed?
Completion more than speed, really. Just like in my sex life. So
I'm surprised you're still playing this. I thought you had to drop it like it's hot.
Now here's the thing. More bugs, and then not any more bugs. Let me talk about it. So what I decided to do was push the nuke button, and I said, all right, if this shit's not going to work and I'm going to give up on it, I'm going to give it one last chance. So I uninstalled everything. All of the fixes I installed, all of that. Uninstalled all of it. Get out. Get the hell out, I said. And then I installed it, and I've only had one crash since then, one or two.
Wow. Okay.
It seems to happen. It happened once when I opened a door, I think, and then once when I pressed pause. Other than that, I've been able to play for probably 6 hours since then without a problem. In that 6 hours, I played one of the DLCs called Dead Money. And this was basically, to put it really quickly, it's about a casino that was broadcasting an emergency message, but it wasn't an emergency. It was on an emergency frequency, but the message was for the casino. It was basically an advertisement telling you to seek fame and fortune at the Sierra Madre Casino. So you get there and you find out that this place has been like corrupted, and there's all these weird, creepy ass ghost people with gas masks type things on and stuff. They look like something from Metal Gear Solid. And you are trapped there with a collar around your neck, and you're tasked with entering the Sierra Madre, but it's not as easy as opening the doors. You have to trip the security by causing a power overload. And to do that, they were going to have a gala at the beginning, like to celebrate the opening of this casino with like fireworks and all this stuff, and it'll short out the gates and allow you to get inside. There's 3 other people there that you're tasked with collecting and basically asking them to work with you to get inside, each with their own job. So it's almost like a casino heist. And it's all put on by this, I think he was named Father Elijah, and he was obsessed with getting into the Sierra Madre. There's a vault in there that basically this place was untouched because as soon as it was completed, the bombs dropped in 2077. And this guy found out about it and wanted to get inside and basically get all the loot that was inside the secret vault that was installed in the basement of this. You learn about like the backstory of the casino through text a lot, things that you find in the world, like computers and stuff like that. And it was pretty interesting. one of the things, the whole feeling of the entire DLC though was very almost horror-esque. The casino had state-of-the-art hologram security, which meant they were basically security officers, but they were holograms. They could shoot you, but you couldn't do anything against them because they're made of light. And when they would see you, they would, instead of turning slowly like a human being would and like facing your direction, they would immediately flash to the direction of where you are and turn red. And the audio would play this really awful stinger, like it was, like it was just some horror movie where it's all trying to do jump scares. I had a really hilarious joke there, but I completely forgot the name of the movie. Blair Witch, like it was that remake of the Blair Witch where everybody comes up behind you and where have you been for the last 5 minutes? I was dying out here. So it has a lot of these weird, like, not jump scares, but if you get too close to them, they'll spook you. So it was a little unnerving. And these enemies are everywhere. You get all your stuff taken away and you have to fight them, and they give you weapons that I had no training in whatsoever. So it was actually quite difficult to complete. But I did finish it. I finished Dead Money, and I am out of that casino now, and about to actually did start today. The third out of 4 DLC that I have installed that came with the game, and that's Old World Blues. So I'll probably be talking about that next week. I'm pretty close to being on track to finishing this game, and without getting into too much specifics, I went in a way that I was basically working with a group called the NCR, a faction called the NCR. They're pretty much the American Army, from what I can understand. They are helpful to a point, but they really only care about gathering resources and making sure they can continue to do their job.
Okay.
But then throughout the course of the game, I was kind of forced to not work with them, because if I continued working with somebody else, I had to break ties with them. And I didn't really understand that was what was happening. I was just trying to continue the conversation so I could get to the next thing. And so it led me on a quest to murder the Brotherhood of Steel, which, if you're familiar with Fallout, the Brotherhood of Steel are typically good guys in the Fallout universe, but they're obsessed with collecting technology and hoarding it for themselves. And it's very much brought on from that aspect in this game. So I thought, okay, maybe it'll be okay. I don't want fanatics, here in New Vegas anyways. So I go to kill them, and I'm losing karma every time I kill one of them. And I was like, nope, I made the bad choice. That's not good. I mean, they pretty much were just not good guys, but they weren't really hurting anybody as far as I know. So that was unfortunate, but I'll talk more about that next week, I'm sure. So that was Fallout New Vegas. Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm super excited, Jason, because I finally roped some people into playing this in multiplayer, and it went about as well as it went with us back on 360 when we played a few times online, in that you do a lot of dinking around before you actually get to anything. Kind of like this podcast. Hey-o. But one stupid thing that happened to me was I kept getting signed out of the frickin' social club, which is their online presence. It saves your online data and all this other stuff, your character. Why the hell is this working? It keeps giving me an error message that I'm not connected and I can't save. I'm thinking it's the game. What's going on? So I investigate it the next day. Turns out my Bitdefender antivirus stuff was blocking the connection for some ungodly reason. So that's computer. If anything, all of this stuff has just convinced me more to play my Switch, it seems like.
Okay, and this is why people play console games.
Exactly. Not to mention, I forgot I had installed VR hacks into the game last time I had it installed, and when you uninstall something from Steam, it doesn't wipe the folder. It just wipes the files that are attributed to the game. So it doesn't know if you have mods installed. It doesn't uninstall those. You have to do them separately. So that was all mixed in and causing problems too. So it just was a big, stupid mess that I had to clean up. But we did get to play it eventually. And it was a lot of fun. And lastly, very excited about this because I picked it up for so cheap for a Nintendo game. Got it for $21.
Yeah, that's a
Mario,
good price.
Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which is that XCOM like game that you had told us about so long ago when it first came out. I'm enjoying it a lot. It took me a second to get into it, especially because you don't really have the stuff unlocked right away, much like any game. Which I end up enjoying. Even XCOM was like that. You can't do everything until you level up your guys.
Right.
And this has sort of that vibe too, where you're spending ability or is it ability points or orbs or something to get abilities.
Something like that.
And so coming from XCOM, really my point of view is it was a little bit harder to get out of the mindset of like, what are the rules for being, to the maximum range of my weapon? Like, what's the fall off for my accuracy? Oh, I don't have to worry about that. All that matters is if they're in cover or not, and that type of thing. And then where it really started clicking with me is once I kind of dropped the idea of what my accuracy or odds of hitting were, it all became connecting slides and Mario jumps and team jumps and stuff. You can get some ridiculous combos going, especially if there's pipes involved, because it seems like pipes just accelerate your squares of movement.
Yeah.
So you can. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's Luigi. I think it's a bonus that you get movement added.
Yeah, you can
like that.
Add points into getting more. Yeah.
But stacking like their Overwatch ability essentially with when characters get launched into the air is nuts.
Yeah, and especially when you can get them to go off at like in the same turn before your enemy, like before the enemy's turn, and all that happens is because of like a push move or a bounce move or something like that, and then they all go crazy and start wailing on them. It's a lot of fun. What was I just gonna say? Oh, I just as far as progress goes, I finished the Ancient Gardens, and then I went back and did all of the challenges except for one. There's one that involves escorting Toad, and you have 8 turns to do it.
Those are a little annoying.
That one is like, I'm gonna have to come back and do that after I've upgraded a bit more and maybe got some more characters in my party. But I think Luigi's probably my favorite, but he's a bit of a glass cannon.
He totally is, but I almost always had him in my party.
Yeah. So it is a lot of fun. I was worried about how I would feel about Rabbids, since I really have no affinity towards them whatsoever, but
yeah,
I've come to love them. They're dopey and silly and kid-like, but
I don't think they detract from the experience at all.
Not at all. And in fact, it is interesting to see how they've combined with other things to become kind of like a Mario Rabbids mishmash of an enemy that you may be familiar with, like the piranha plants or something like that.
Ooh, yeah.
So, and they also mix it up with the chain chomps and stuff. So it is very fun, and I'm playing it about 50-50 handheld and TV. So every once in a while I'll get some sessions in on the couch and then come downstairs and do some more of the story or something. So
okay,
but that's awesome. It for me. Not, as you can see, not a lot in the movie category. I'm looking to rectify that in the coming days.
Yeah. So. We finished The Staircase.
Yeah, we got to get to that.
Got to that great documentary series. I think we both liked it. And I mean, I know this wasn't a Netflix original. I mean, I know they ordered the 3 additional episodes, but it was already a piece
already existed
prior. Yeah, but I would say this is like, a lot of people say if you like Making a Murderer or this and that, but I think this is better. I would say this is better than Making a Murderer. I found because like so much that I think you draw from what the problem with our justice system and the legal system is. You make the assumptions like, because the person Steve Avery was, he didn't have a lot of money where he was in life and his character, and you think that's why it happened. But then this person and that focuses on in The Staircase is wealthy, was well known, and it just shows that what things that happen when a narrative has been already created by law enforcement, perhaps, that they want to see play out. So really good. We really enjoyed it. So now we started to keep that train rolling. We started Flint Town.
Yes.
So I think we're like 3 episodes in on Flint Town. So we'll be through that probably by next week. So, but I like that. Positive. Really like that so far. Beyond that, I want to mention I watched on YouTube Nintendo Life did this. It's like I didn't know Nintendo Life like produced little it's like a mini documentary in a way. It's called The Real Wizard, Jeff Hansen.
I saw you post about this.
I had no idea who this was. I watched it last weekend, and Jeff Hansen was a kid. I think he was like 9 years old at the time. Really liked Nintendo and ended up going and competing and winning like a regional Nintendo World Championship in 1990. And then he goes on and then he wins like at the first time they did it, they had 3 champions, one for each age group. So it was like 18 and up, and then 12 to 17, and then like 11 and younger. Those were the 3 age divisions. So they had one champion for each one. So he was the 11 and younger champion. But then he actually repeated the next year as Nintendo World Champion. It was just cool to see. They had a ton of footage from back then. It was really interesting just to hear his story. I think it's cool just for being like a Nintendo fan like I am.
How long was it?
Cool to see the vintage. It's now. It's just like about an hour.
Okay.
Just shy of an hour. So it's pretty decent in length.
Yeah.
And I had no idea anything about him, so I really recommend that to people. And then game wise, I finally was like, you know what, I need to just finish Hollow Knight. I've played for 35 hours. I don't think it's possible for me to beat what I've been trying to beat.
Yeah. Unless
I have a couple upgrades. So I'm like, I just want to finish the game right now so I can move on. I did make it to the final boss section of the challenge I keep trying to do, but I finished the game. There's 3 total endings. I can't get the other 2 endings yet because I need certain weapons and items. So there's content I haven't experienced yet in the game. I got 90% completion, which I'm pretty happy with. I'm not even trying to be a completionist. Like there's like these little grubs you got to find and rescue throughout the game. So I know there's a bunch of those. I don't have all the badges. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do yet, but the final boss was actually kind of disappointing. Like he was like easy compared to a lot of the other enemies I've already fought. So, but that's to go to show I haven't really fought the true final boss because it's an area I don't have access to right now. So, something I'll probably go back and play for a while, but I just wanted to like finish it, so to speak, and then move on for a bit and
get some closure on it instead of being like,
because I'm
I still got to go back to that and have your mind on it.
Otherwise, I'll still try to beat the Coliseum of Fools. I mean, I'll sit there and I'll just replay that and replay that and replay that and replay that, and it's just it's so frustrating.
It kind of reminds me of the following that Binding of Isaac sort of got when that first came out. I feel like it's kind of gained like momentum. Like nobody really paid attention to it when it was first coming out, but then it came out and people were like, "Oh, this is a good game," and it really seems to be getting like a word of mouth type thing going on. Because I'll be honest, I never. I was gonna say I never heard of it. I saw it on Steam for sale, and I was just like, "This game looks like some stupid indie."
Did you ever confirm if you got it from a Humble?
Yes, I didn't. I thought I did. I think I saw it on sale or in a Humble bundle, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And then I didn't know what it was and didn't know how to play it or anything. I was like, "That looks like every other game I got from them that I haven't beat yet."
I mean, I just want to get off my plate so I can like finally play the Octopath demo and get ready for that to come out.
Yeah, so. You're going to have to set aside a year of your life to finish that one.
I know, right? So there is that, and that's all I've played. And that's it. That's really our show. Dang. That's pretty much our show tonight. So,
getting in and out. Burger.
Thanks to everyone who submitted content to us this week. We appreciate your feedback. Please check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed if you're interested. Be happy to give you that T-shirt if you win. And right now you got to play to win.
You got a good chance of winning if you enter.
That's right. We're gonna do the promo until someone does it. I think that's the only way to do it. So it's gonna be the June promo in December. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, we were happy with ours with those baseball tees. I mean,
that's right. I got 2.
Day's good. You do. One looks better than the other though.
Yeah. One's falling apart and this one's great. So
that's a real selling point. Get 2, one will fall apart.
Tom Servo asked, did he miss the grab bag? No, sir, he didn't miss the grab bag because there is no
Dan Anthony did not share any disgusting stories.
No, I did find a Dan Anthony story, though, about something happened in Indiana. A bunch of poop got spilled on a highway. Human feces.
What is with poop getting spilled everywhere?
I don't know, but they had to clean it up, and it was stinky. As always, we'd like to thank all of our patrons, but a very special thanks to our Arbiters of Awesomeness, Sean Capri, Edwin Kyle, Tyler Rowland, and Nathan Horton himself, and of course our Executors of Excellence, Josh Fabrone, Dan Anthony, and Siri Renee. Thank you all for your support each week. Remember, next week is Netflixation. Make sure you watch Cargo, or we're going to spoil it when we talk about it next week. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Let's do it again in 7 days. You have 7 days to die.